Hey everyone, what is going on today? It is Colin C back with another great video for you all today. Here's what I've got. I just kind of want to go over the market. I want to kind of go over my feel of the market, where I'm coming from, my idea. I think that we're still 100% bullish. I think there's obviously a case always can be made for either or, but I want to bring you kind of the way I'm looking at things, a couple articles that I've seen, a couple of just charts that I think are important to look at right now, and to kind of see where the market's going and just the overall sentiment of Bitcoin right now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Before I do, make sure you guys hit that like button. Smash the subscribe button if you could for me. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so where I want to start at here is coin market cap. We were at 1.9 trillion yesterday, and we are at 1.9 trillion again today, which doesn't look too bad. Obviously, we had a pretty nice sized pump in the beginning of it. It's obviously coming back just a little bit today, but sitting over that 41 looks pretty good. We really need to pump up to above about 42.5 or so, and then we'll kind of go over that 45.6 mark next, which I'll go over here in a little bit. But overall, the market, not too bad. I know ApeCoin was going crazy today. I want to say it was ApeCoin that was just absolutely pumping like crazy. Couple other coins were doing pretty well. Yeah, ApeCoin up 27% today. Holy crap. I don't even know what that's for, but maybe, I mean, I don't know what that's for. I don't know if that's one of our articles coming up about Coinbase or what, but that's pretty cool to see. I don't have any ApeCoin. Don't plan on getting any ApeCoin. Can't get them all. It's impossible, guys. So that's the one thing that kind of annoys me a little bit, is because people are like, oh, you're not in this, oh, not in this one, oh, you got it. I mean, we get DMs on the daily now about what ones we're supposed to be in and not. We can't buy them all. We can't buy every single coin. We're going to miss more than we get, but we are pretty comfortable with the ones we have, and obviously you guys should too. This isn't financial advice in any shape or form. If you're looking for a financial advisor, you should definitely go get yourself one, but that's not here. We're just telling you what we're doing and kind of bringing you guys some news that we love of the cryptocurrency market and some indicators and things we're looking at. All right, guys, back into the video. So that's coin market cap for you today. Overall, pretty much about even. Started way up this in the morning, and then now we're obviously pulling back a little bit. That's okay. Mainly looking at Bitcoin here, and my opinion, that overall market cap. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump over to TradingView. TradingView is something that again, I've been bullish on here for a while, with just kind of looking at the charts. And I understand the indicator. I get that, all that stuff, but I'm still looking at everything is still, we're setting are these higher lows, higher low, higher low, and even here in that higher low. And I like looking at a macro sense of the chart. You guys know this. I'm pretty big on looking at it in a macro sense. And even as we go out and even as we zoom out, we're still looking at higher highs too. So until that really starts happening, until the capitulation and we start seeing those moves down and we don't get the pump off, so we kind of capitulate, find that kind of bottom where we're sitting right now between that 39 and 40K. It was the 30K and 32K, then the 33K and the 36K, so on and so forth. That as we find those bottoms and they just become higher and higher and higher, I mean, how can you not say that it's bullish? It's extremely bullish news in my mind, and that's why I'm staying on the bullish side of things, and that's why we're still pumping money into this market, as Joe and I just bought some pretty big sizable bags for us anyways last week in Harmony One and Sologenic, which Sologenic video coming out very soon. We've shot half of it, gonna get some more research done, shoot the other half on Friday, should be out next week. All right, guys, so getting back into some news here. Again, I think it's just a bullish chart overall. Here's one thing I did want to go over, which I think is pretty big news. Coinbase NFT, it's in its beta right now, but it's looking a whole lot like OpenSea. You've got a lot of things going on with this. Will this explode some markets and whatnot? I just don't know. I probably don't think so. It's still based on Ethereum, so these gas fees are probably still going to be super high for right now. But this could be something huge. It could do some pretty big things, I think. Obviously, it's very well used in the U.S. and all that stuff, Coinbase. But, overall, NFTs are kind of beat down right now, so I think it's a good time to get in and be able to get it into a little bit more familiar of a spot. And obviously, OpenSea has been kind of run through the mud a little bit, as you would say. But anyways, this has been pretty big. It's been really over a year coming now that we've been waiting for this to happen, and it's obviously coming out soon, and things will happen. So we're going to join the wait list here, and who knows, maybe Joe and I will list our NFT here. But you have to get approved. You got to go through some other stuff, so they are doing some background checking there. there. Some people don't. It's a whole system that we got to go through. But I thought that was pretty big news, and could be bullish news as well. All right, so next thing I want to jump into is the fear and greed index, guys. Fear and greed index. So as you can see, every time we start these big, massive kind of sell-offs and dumps and so on and so forth, and everybody's out of the market, no one's talking about it, this is where people start accumulating. I mean, this is huge. This is where people are buying. You've seen it every single time we're in the red. You get some sort of pretty stark run up, run up, run up, run up, run up, and it happens over and over and over again. And now that's exactly where we're looking right now. This fear and greed index, why I like it so much is because typically it's showing you where the whales and where the big time buyers are buying and the institutions are buying. They're not going to be buying at the top. Like, that's how you don't make money, because these big time institutional investors, why they trust more with Bitcoin is, number one, it's more widely accepted, obviously, and it's more of that store to value. I get that, but they know it's not going to go to zero. They understand that. So when you're pumping in billions of dollars, or you're pumping in hundreds of millions of dollars, you don't need to buy some little coin and hope it goes up. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to double your money, maybe triple your money, or maybe just keep it there so it doesn't lose value, right? That is the big thing about institutions, and why it's so big to get them in the market, because that's going to bring in so much more money that kind of filters or flows down to the other projects and the other coins with not as big market caps or not as well known. That's what's so important about that. It's not always that they're trying to buy up all the cryptocurrency. It's simply that they're trying to park their money there and let it sit. Another thing I want to jump into is CryptoQuant.com. Here you can see that exchange flows have had a huge drop in address count since the beginning of April 2022. Historically, a huge drop in addresses count, inflows and outflows lead to a significant price correction for Bitcoin. And you can see from this chart about how steep that went down. So what's happening is, people are taking their Bitcoin off of exchanges, putting it in cold storages. We all know this, and keeping it there. They're not waiting to sell it. They want to just keep it and hodl and get more. So when you see these big downturns in the market or these big price corrections, you best know that there are big institutions and big time money getting there and keeping it. Now, it doesn't always mean that just because like just the last week, 2 weeks ago, there was 600 million between MicroStrategy and Terra buying Bitcoin alone, and the price literally went straight down, right? It doesn't always mean that right away the price goes up. This takes sometimes weeks to play out. It's not always right away. There's backdoor buying between whales and other things like that. So when you start getting, the Bitcoin buys really being out in front of people, that's typically when the market really starts to turn and these retail investors come in, and then you start hearing Bitcoin, talk from your grandma. Then it's probably time to sell. But we're a long way away from that. We're looking at the back end of 2022 for that. But these are some bullish indicators that, anyways, I'm looking at. If you're looking at something different, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. I'd love to chat with you guys about it. Again, these are just things I'm looking at that it's why I'm bullish, and these are some very important things that I think should at least be considered as we move forward and as we move forward with this market. Talking about bullish, here's another bullish thing. Here is Australia crypto ETF market heats up with two more spot funds set to launch. I can tell you this, the United States is not going to want to fall behind, and they already are. I think Canada's already got one, maybe Brazil I've heard of, and then obviously Australia now joining the pack. But as this starts happening and billions and trillions start flowing in, and these huge investors have to go out and buy Bitcoin because that's what their people want, that is what's going to really drive up price, especially with these spot ETFs. And I think it's going to be huge. Also, there's an article earlier today that's going to be about being able to change some of the regulations, so maybe you can get one approved through something that's a little bit easier on the regulatory side of things. It's a little bit complicated. Just know that they're applying for it to be easier to get a spot ETF through versus the harder way that's much more difficult to get it approved. And if that happens, then it's going to be awesome. And trust me, there's already pressure on them. There's already pressure on Mr. Gensler, and it's coming, right? There's already pressure, plenty of it out there, and eventually this will happen, in my opinion. Eventually this will happen. Not to spread too much hopium, but I kind of am. That's kind of the way it is. So just deal with it, right? If you're not a hopium person, then too bad. Watch it anyways. Like and subscribe anyways. All right, so 3.6 million Americans to use crypto to make a purchase in 2022. How awesome is that? So 3.6 million Americans to use crypto. That's huge, to make a purchase. That it'll go up 70% this year. That's massive, okay? We also expect, we're reading right here, guys. We also expect the more crypto options will be layered in how people pay, like cards and digital wallets. Yes, they will. These factors should spur high crypto payment growth rates over the next few years. Absolutely. And you guys can see from this chart that the percentage change and the percentage of population change will be massive. You can see already going to project to run up in 2022 and 2023. And this is just more bullish news that, mass adoption is right around the corner, if not some of it already here. You can already tell where these bottoms are hitting. Look at the volatility. Crypto's so volatile. It's so volatile. This is like the most stable year we've had. I want to say this is the most stable year we've had since 2017. Like, how crazy is that? We're only getting more price. There's a war going on, in the last 5 years. There's, pandemics left and right. You've got all these switches of presidents and this and that going on, and Bitcoin is still stable. It's still less volatile than it's been in a very long time. And it's holding price action like it's never held before. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm just saying that's pretty bullish in itself too, and I think that's something that could really help drive this market up. Ultimately, we don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. No one does. All right, let's be honest, no one does. But a lot of it's going to probably ride on really these inflation rates and what happens, and what does Bitcoin do when these inflation rates go up? How high do they go up? How do we get rid of them a little bit more quickly? Do they maybe even start to trend down a little bit? But we don't know exactly what's going to happen until we see that reaction. And honestly, until that happens, we're not sure in the whole space what will happen with Bitcoin. In my opinion, I think we'll get over that. I think some of that's already a little bit priced in, and I think it's not going to be as big of a deal as people think it is, but ultimately that's going to be a deciding factor as well. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you guys want to start up a conversation, what do you think? Are you bullish on the market? Are you bearish on the market? What indicators are you looking at? Why are you looking at those indicators? This is just what I'm looking at. This is the kind of stuff that I go through every single day, the checks and balances that I make. I know we don't make a video on it every day. I should start doing more of these videos. But, we only have so many time for so much video. So this is just something I kind of like to do. It's kind of like my weekly wrap up and the things I'm looking at. All right, guys, if you guys have any comments, drop them below. But as always, we really, truly do appreciate you guys rocking with the fittest crypto channel on YouTube, and I'm out.